is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I'm yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stalker.
And we are on the road to 5K subscribers. And we appreciate everyone who has already subscribed to our channel. If you get any value from this channel, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff because it helps us grow. And these are the conversations that people need to be a part of. The important conversations, the conversations that matter. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this episode. So the topic for today is going to be
another incompetent blue state governor.
So we are going to find out in this video that another governor found out real quick that housing illegals will bankrupt your city. We're going to watch the video. We're going to comment on it. Y'all know how we do. Let's get into it.
Common sense?
Obviously not.
Another billion-dollar boondoggle in the blue state of Massachusetts, which is now scrapping.
What's a boondoggle?
I have never heard of that word in my life.
A boondoggle.
A boondoggle.
That's a funny word.
That's hilarious.
Its migrant shelter program. Governor Maura Healey announcing the closure of all remaining hotel shelters in that state.
Yeah, it's going to contradict law, but we'll get into that. Massachusetts has already spent more than $800 million on housing more than 4,000 migrant families just this fiscal year. And that number is expected to balloon to as much as $1 billion cumulatively by the end of the year.
Now, there were some warnings over the price tag. The governor ignored them, and now the taxpayer is bearing the brunt of it. For more, let's bring in a former Massachusetts migrant shelter director, John Featherston. It's great to have you with us, and I want to get your reaction to this. I mean, this is happening in New York City as well. We had a huge crisis here with migrants, Sanctuary City, taxpayer dollars going to food, shelter, education, health benefits, and everybody said that was the right thing to do. The problem is that it bankrupts cities and states.
Absolutely. Jackie and David, thanks for having me on this evening. You know, here's the bottom line with Maura Healey, our governor. She's lied to us for the last 2.5 years, and now she expects us to believe anything that she says when it comes to these migrant shelters. She has systematically failed the taxpayers in Massachusetts, but even more importantly, from a humanitarian standpoint, she's failed the migrants. She has set the migrants up for failure. So now I can sit there and say that she has wasted billions of dollars and set these poor people up for failure.
She's not only...
Because what are they going to do now?
Go home, Roger.
What? The funds have dried up. They were living off of these funds. What are they going to do now?
And they're expecting it because this has been something that has been ongoing.
It was promised to them. They've been getting it.
Right. Now it has to stop.
Now it is no more.
Set the migrants up for failure. She ends up having to go back to the people. What do you do now? The gravy train from the Biden administration is not there. That's part of the issue here. And you know the name Taxachusetts and why it's applied. Where is she going to go now that the migrants are there? Unless they self-deport, they're not leaving. And you do have a state law, a shelter law in place.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is now that she's closed what we call her Healey hotels, and now she's placing people into residential apartments throughout the Commonwealth. My words, bribing landlords to house people that you normally wouldn't house, and spending up to $50,000 through a program called Home Base. So now she is spreading the problem across the entire Commonwealth rather than just, you know, the 100 or so hotels that people were in. So now you're going to have impacts on your local school systems. You're going to have impacts with your local police and fire departments. You're going to have systematic problems with landlords not getting what they were promised. You know, you sign a lease with somebody for 4 people and it turns out there's 9 people living in these shelters. The governor has really put Massachusetts in a bind with this. She hasn't thought this out. She's trying to do it with all smoke and mirrors. And she's really, I mean, the failure is the only option she has here in Massachusetts. Just admit that she failed. Let's bring in the government. I've asked for the Department of Justice to come in and do a thorough investigation on the audit of the money trail on this. We need federal help here in Massachusetts. We really do.
Well, I was going to ask about that, what consequences there are, if any, and if there are any federal funds involved where you could tie it to a larger probe.
Oh, absolutely.
I have never gotten $4,000 a week for any time for not working. It's profitable.
Okay.
Straight up.
Be fine without me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get this money.
Go get that money and bring it back home.
What in the world? These people won't even take care of American citizens. American citizens are struggling. They're saying they're struggling, but they continue to fund and house these are illegals. They're calling them migrants.
They're illegals. They ain't supposed to be here. Because he just said once the money's gone, they ain't going to self-deport.
And
so
then,
they're going to be living off of somebody. They're going to be homeless.
And then they're not even helping my immigrants who are trying to come here legally either. This.
And then it says swimming pool.
It did say swimming pool.
You know, as a shelter director, I know a lot of federal funds were going towards this, and I can certainly point to the Department of Justice to where some of the fraud is. We actually have a Democrat auditor here in Massachusetts, Diana DiZaglio. She's already done the audit. She's already come back.
There is so much freaking fraud happening. Why can't we? What is stopping these people from going to jail? Everybody needs to be locked up in the government.
All of them. They all need to go to prison.
How are these governors, these mayors,
senators,
how are they blatantly
bucking the system?
Fraud. And everybody's talking about, we need to figure out a way to get more money. We need to figure out a way to get more money.
Y'all need to figure out how to manage the money you already got. And that's getting rid of all these scammers.
Like, dang, it's not treason, but
what's that one woman, I can't even remember. She was taking trips and all kind of stuff she was the mayor of a small town, Black woman. Anyway.
I just had
the governor and said, hey, these no bid contracts are wrong. There's been spending frauds. The governor totally disregarded it. So the DOJ has to just come in and confirm what the auditors already come up with. And somebody needs to go to jail, and it's probably Maura Healey.
Well, then a quick one, if you will, John. What happens if the DOJ comes in, finds this fraud? Where does it go next within the state?
Well, the legislature's been very quiet about all of this. It's my personal opinion. Governor Healey never thought she was going to be the governor of Massachusetts in August of 2025. She actively campaigned for the Biden and Harris campaign. She thought she was going to be the Attorney General of the United States of America, and the election didn't go her way, thankfully. And she never thought that she was going to have to deal with this, and she's just looking for an exit ramp to get out of this. But somebody needs to be held accountable, and somebody needs to go to jail.
She should be prosecuted. John Featherston,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're right. She failed everyone all around.
Another $1 billion boondoggle in the blue state of Massachusetts, which is now.
She done failed everybody. Somebody needs to go to jail. I need to start seeing these politicians go to jail. Like, for real. They doing too much, getting away with too much, and they got their hands in too much. I believe in criminals going to jail.
He's still paying tax on
straight up.
We can't keep all our money, but they get all our money.
They get the money. Yeah. Our money ain't worth a day.
You won't fix our roads and our streets, but they get places to stay. You got parks and stuff closed up, and children can't go to the park and play, but they got somewhere to lay their heads.
Now I gotta worry about my kids going to school with them kids, and I don't know what kind of kids they need. Crazy.
It's not fair.
No. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. So, like always, it's love, peace, and soul. Like Soul Train, baby. Y'all don't pay her no mind. She crazy.